Like when you do shrooms, it's like you're taking on an entity, you know?
That's interesting, man. I think so. When you get into like what is alcohol, spirits, right? It's like there's something to that.
The thing I was telling you though about the Salem witch trials, we could look this up, make sure it's true, but I'm pretty sure it is. What they did was they did a core sample. You know, they dig into the earth and they find, and through the core sample, I don't know how they make the calculation exactly, but they know where the years were as they go down. And when they get to the years of the Salem witch trial, it turns out there's a late frost. And when late frost happens, sometimes plants die and sometimes they get fungus. And fungus grows on them. That fungus is called ergot. And so they found evidence of this stuff. In 1976, Linda Corporal offered the first evidence that Salem witch trials followed an outbreak of rye ergot. Ergot is a fungus blight that forms hallucinogenic drugs in bread. Its victims can appear bewitched when they're actually stoned. Ergot thrives in a cold winter followed by a wet spring. So
wow.
They found evidence of that. So if they had evidence of that, at least accidentally, they were tripping balls because they were eating. The bread was like so important to them. Like, you know, that was a big part of how they stayed alive. They were probably all tripping their fucking balls off.
Oh, yeah, 100%. What about the guy whose job it was to go around to determine whether somebody is a witch or not?
Look at this. According to this theory, the abrupt end of the witch trials in May 1693 happened, quite simply, because Salem ran out of ergot-contaminated grain.
Wow.
So the witch is over. No more witches, because we're not tripping balls anymore.
Oh, my God. I never knew that.
Isn't that nuts?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody's on shrooms. They're like, witch!
Yeah, you imagine you really would think you were bewitched. Like, why am I thinking like this? Why do I feel this way? Oh, my God, I'm under a spell. And if you believed in spells, and fucking the 1600s, they believed in spells.
100%.
100%. You know?
That's crazy.
How nuts.
I did shrooms at the K-Rock Acoustic Christmas about like...
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, and I heard a voice, and it's the last time I ever worried about my life.
Really?
It said, you're exactly where you need to be. I heard it loud.
Wow.
And I never worried, and then I just went and watched Prophets of Rage just annihilate, bro. Annihilate. And it was like, and my life has always been kind of on this nice path since then. But yeah, shrooms were a big part of my recovery, and just like all the stuff having the kids, and then this COVID thing forced me to like reevaluate a lot of shit, and I'm on kind of the spiritual path right now, which is like, I really love it. It's a much better way of looking at the world.
So it sounds like you made like big leaps, like big changes in the way you think about things.
Yeah, man.
Just huge ones.
There's this video going around about me and Ari Shapiro yelling at each other on my past punch drunk videos, you know, of us doing it. And I watch it, and it's super cringy, right? I go, but now I understand a lot of stuff, like how my energy was back in the day and how people received it. And I get it.
Was this the running and gunning days?
This was running and gunning 1, not running and gunning 2. This was the earlier days when it was just like blowing stuff like that. And
let me say one thing about you. You always, even if you were on coke, you were always a cool guy to hang out with.
Thank you, Joe. It means a lot to me.
You always were. But you're not one of those guys who does coke and then becomes unmanageable.
Well, you know what's interesting, Joe? So I saw you recently at Christina's party, right?
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is that I was talking about this on my Broken Simulation podcast. I drove around that place like 30 times because I have like really bad social anxiety, and I was like, gotta go in, and then I was like defensive farting the whole time, right? So just fair and farting, just blowing up my car.
Just nerve farts.
Yeah, nerve farts, really bad. And then I finally went in, and I was like, okay, I'm okay. But I have like really bad.
Wow.
So like that's a big part of like why I was doing drugs too, like to be able to like be calm to be into my like skin and being able to talk to people. And like I wasn't a good drinker. I never really liked drinking, but coke was just like every time I did blow, I felt like I was like Motley Crue in the girls video, right? Just walking through, pointing the chicks, getting weird, dude. Like fucking.
You felt like the man.
Yeah, I felt like the man, and then it worked till it didn't work.